lovely friends. I'm Heather. Welcome back to Belle's Library. Today we are going to be talking about some big books that are on my TBR for this year. So one of my goals this year was to just take on some bigger books, over 600 pages, because I don't want to feel so intimidated by them, because I feel like having a bigger book should give me some more time for character development, world building, whatever, all this good stuff. So I need to stop being so nervous to pick them up because they are large. And so I wanted to read 10 big books this year. And so we're going to go through 10 books that I'm thinking, at least for right now, that I will try to complete this year, that are over 600 pages, that are on my TBR, that sound intriguing. We'll see if I get through more, or maybe it ends up having to change to different ones. But these are the 10 right now that I'm thinking I'm going to read throughout the year. Before we totally jump into everything, please get down below and click subscribe if you haven't already. I would absolutely love to have you. I also have my Instagram and Goodreads linked down below, so you can follow me over there and we can talk bookish on all of the different channels. That would be absolutely amazing. I would love it. Now, I do have kind of a mix of different categories within this. I would say a majority, though, are kind of more fantasy and sci-fi, because I feel like bigger books tend to be those because you need more of that world building and stuff. But I do also have a contemporary, and I have a couple of horror novels that also fall into this. And I decided to rank these based on the cover and how beautiful I think it is. So this is my opinion. So we're going to start with the cover that I'm least enveloped into and that grabs me the least and that I think is the least beautiful. And then we're going to move to the cover that I find the most beautiful and that I am just like, wow, you're gorgeous. Did I just lose some lighting? I feel like it just got darker in here. Light, come back. Anyways, so that's kind of how I have this going. I also was thinking about possibly with this kind of project doing spoiler vlogs for all of these. I've never done a vlog in which I'm giving full spoilers for a book and just going through and just talking my full feelings. There's definitely some of these that I would love to do it with. I'm like, yes, I think this would totally work. A few that I'm kind of like, not totally sure that I would, but it'd be kind of fun to just once a month read one of these books and do a spoiler-filled vlog. I don't know, tell me what you guys think and if that sounds like something you'd be into. And just, yeah, let me know down below. And let's go ahead and start with our first book. So the first book I have on here is Wonderstruck by Brian Selznick. And this one is 640 pages, so it is a little over that 600 page mark. I feel like a chunk of these are in kind of the 600 page range, but I do have some that are like 700-800 pages. And I think one of them is over 1,000 pages. Oh my gosh, I'm breaking out in a sweat already. Okay, anyways, so this one, the cover, definitely, I'm just like, what are you? I just feel like it's super just blue and you just have a lightning strike, and I just don't feel like there's a lot of detail to this cover or anything that's just like standing out. I just think of a blue cover with a lightning strike and I'm like, okay, sure. It's just a little boring to me, but the actual storyline does sound really intriguing to me. So we have two people that we're following in two different timelines. One is Ben, and he's looking for his father that he never knew. And then we have Rose, who keeps dreaming of an actress, and she's kind of chronicling her dreams in this scrapbook. So after each of them finds a different clue to what they're looking for, they kind of each set out on their own journey, and we're following that through the book. I have heard this one's really good. This one, I almost feel like it's cheating, but I feel like I'll end up reading some other books that are over 600 pages, possibly just throughout the year anyways. But this one, I believe Rose, you're actually following it through her chronicling it as a scrapbook. So you're seeing more pictures and some stuff like that. So that'll probably be a little easier and quicker to read through, but I love stuff like that. I love stuff that has kind of that mix of, we're gonna tell you a story in a different way, and it just sounds so intriguing. I read a horror novel that was called Thornhill by Pam Smee that was kind of like this, and it told two different timelines, two different perspectives, and one was told in pictures and one was told in diary entries. Loved it. So I'm really intrigued by the premise of this, but it makes me feel a little less intimidated by it because I know that like a chunk of it is kind of that scrapbooking pictures and stuff. But it sounds really intriguing and I'm excited to get to it. Next up is Plain Bad Heroines, and this is by Emily M. Danforth, and it says it's also 640 pages. I'm using page numbers off of Goodreads, so just so you know, for a reference of where I'm getting these page numbers for, that's where it's coming from. This one, I feel like the cover is just not that intriguing to me. It has some pretty elements, like it's intricate and interesting around the sides. It's just doesn't really appeal to me very much, and I'm like, eh. I'm also kind of curious about the story in general because I feel like it's very polarizing, and let me see what the Goodreads rating is because I feel like it's kind of low. 3.67. That's not the worst I've seen. It's not great, but it's not like totally terrible. I just feel like I haven't heard a ton of great things about this book. So in this one, we're following basically in 1902, we have these two young girls at Brookhant's School for Girls. They start this private club between the two of them called the Plain Bad Heroine Society. When they meet up in this apple orchard, they are found dead later, and the school ends up closing forever 5 years later after a few more deaths occur on the campus. Now we're following 100 years later, and someone has written a book that is kind of about the history of this school. And there's a film crew who is then inspired to go back to the school, and they're going to make a horror like film out of the story of this school. And I'm assuming that things go sideways when they go back to this school and start filming. So I find this one really intriguing because I really enjoy the idea of having a film crew go back to somewhere and it's maybe haunted or there's something else going on. We also have kind of this secret club society thing going on, but also like a little creepy horror murder thing going on too. So I'm really intrigued by this one, and I think it'll be really good. The next book that I have is Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. And this one, I just feel like it's a very common sci-fi looking cover. So we have this planet and then a ship, and it looks like it's kind of headed towards the planet. And it just seems very basic to me. So yeah, but the storyline sounds intriguing, and I am very in for it. So this one says it's 600 pages exactly, and it's basically following the human race. They are leaving a dying Earth to find a new home, and then they come across this planet, and they think it's like this amazing gift because it's already been terraformed, and it's like completely prepared for human life. And they're like, this is amazing. But maybe it's not what they think, and it could be mankind's worst nightmare after all. So that sounds really intriguing. I've been getting way more into sci-fi, and I'm just so intrigued by things that are set in outer space and on other planets. And so I'm really curious to get into this one, and I'm pretty sure that this one's pretty beloved. So yeah, this one's rated at a 4.27, and it has 77,000 ratings. So it's pretty well loved, it seems like, and I think I'm going to enjoy it. So I'm really excited about this one. Now, this next book, the cover actually started a little lower on this list, and then I really was able to look at it a little bigger and really just see a little bit more on this cover, and it slowly crept itself up a little bit here, and that's The Black Witch. This is by Laurie Forrest, and at first I was like, oh, it's just this floating feather, I don't know, that doesn't look that intriguing, but when you really look at it, the feather also has these trees kind of growing off of it, and there's this pretty magical stuff going on down at the bottom, and I don't know, I was like, maybe I do like this one more. I feel like it kind of gives off this fun, witchy, ominous vibe going on, and there's a little bit more details in there than I was originally seeing, so it moved up a little bit as far as the cover goes. So The Black Witch, this one is 601 pages. So we're really hanging in that 600 range right now. We're following Aloran, and she's the granddaughter of the last Black Witch, but she is devoid of any powers. So when the opportunity to study for her dream of becoming apothecary is granted, she joins the university looking to find her own destiny outside of her grandmother's legacy. Her grandma did all these amazing fantastic things, and she's kind of like in her shadow, right? So, but evil looms along with the pressure to live up to her heritage, and this challenges her survival, and she must learn to trust an unlikely group of rebels. So I'm very into looking into more witchy stories this year. I really just enjoy that plot line I'm noticing, and I want to read more witchy stories this year, and this one sounds great, and it's over 600 pages, so beautiful there. And yeah, it's got like this academic setting. She's going to go to this university. It sounds like she's going to maybe find some friends and make like a rebel group, and they're going to like kick some butt or something. I don't know. And it's going to be witchy and magical, and it sounds like a good time to me. Next up, number 5 on the list here is The Mask of Mirrors, and this is by M.A. Carrick, and it's 630 pages. I have seen this one quite a bit on Jessie May's channel, I believe it is. I'll put her channel down below, but she talks about this book quite often. And so I was like, sounds intriguing. I'm into this. And did I say it's 630 pages? So this one we're following Ren, and she's entering the city of Nandesra with one rule. She wants to trick her way into a noble house, securing her fortune and her sister's future. But as she is drawn into the house of Trementis, she realizes that she is not the only one trying to masquerade. Yeah, so sounds fun. We've got some lying and deceit, and Ren, who, you know, she's kind of got this side of her that where she's trying to trick people, and she is kind of more of like a liar, I guess, a thief. I think they said she was a thief, but I didn't type it in here. So she's kind of, you know, morally gray, but I'm sure she has her reasons, and we're going to end up rooting for her. But it sounds like there's also some other people in this world that are maybe not so great either. That sounds pretty fantastic to me. So very intrigued. All right, so the next book, this one is the biggest book on this list. And I don't know how it's going to go. I have kind of got a mixed bag with this author. I have read from this author before. I have semi-enjoyed books. I haven't loved any of his books yet, but I've also DNF'd a book by him. I don't know. Anyways, I really want to read It by Stephen King. This cover is creepy. I chose this one because it's out of the ones that are on the Goodreads that you can like look at. This one to me is just creepy. Like his face just looking at you. Oh my gosh. Oh, it gives me chills. It creeps me out. And yeah. Oh man. It's so simple, but at the same time, like it just gets you right to your soul. He's looking at you. Anyways, in this one, if you haven't heard about what it is about, basically these 7 teens stumble upon this horror when they're kids, right? But now we're following as they are grown-up men and women, and they're getting pulled back to the town of Derry, Maine to face this nightmare again. And so they're kind of having to come back and face this entity, I guess we'll call it. So that one is huge, 1,100 pages. Like, whoa, that is a massive book. There's my parents' dog using their house to film right now, because my house is like 300 square feet that we're living in right now, and there's too many people in it. Like me, my husband, and my daughter live there. It's a holiday, so my daughter's home. It's just, there's no way. And my parents went to an appointment, so it's mostly quiet here except for them. Okay, so let's move on to book number 7, and this one is also a little bit older book, like It. This one's actually a little older than that. So I kind of want to read Dune by Frank Herbert. This one says it's 688 pages, and it's a sci-fi, so I haven't watched the movie that just came out, but I know people have been saying it's been really good and better than the other adaptation that was made. But we're following Paul, and he is heir to the noble family tasked with ruling this inhospitable world. And the only thing in this world that's worth anything is spice, which is a drug that's capable of extending life and enhancing consciousness. When his noble house is betrayed, Paul is set on a journey as he evolves into the mysterious man Muad'Dib. I probably am saying that wrong. But yeah, so we're following Paul, and he's supposed to be reigning over this world, and he gets betrayed, his family does, and I don't know anything much from there. I haven't watched any of the movies. I've never read the books, but I'm getting more into sci-fi, as I stated. These dogs are being crazy. I'm sorry. And I just am intrigued. I want to know a little bit more about what people have got going on with this, and maybe I'll watch the movie after I read the book. So the next book on this list is To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. I haven't read anything by him. I know his Aragon series is pretty popular. I haven't heard amazing things about this one, but I'm still intrigued and I want to read it. And I think a big part of that, honestly, is the cover. I think this cover is stinking gorgeous. Like, I love the use of the blues and like this mysterious, you just feel like you're falling into it, you know? Like, I don't know. It's beautiful. This one we're following Kira. So during a routine survey mission on an uncolonized planet, Kira finds an alien relic. At first, she is super elated until the ancient dust around her begins to move, and all of a sudden, war erupts in the galaxy. Kira is pushed to her limits as Earth is on the brink of annihilation, and she is their last hope. So sounds like we kind of got like a chosen one thing going on, but also with the aliens and outer space and fun sci-fi type elements. Oh, and that one is 878 pages. So another kind of longer one. We're getting out of those 600 pages for the next few books here. So number 9 on our list here, almost to the end. This one has a beautiful cover as well. I really just love this dragon on the cover around this tower. And the premise of this one is so intriguing as well. I've been wanting to read this one for quite a while. Oh my goodness, these dogs. Okay, so there's a couple things that really like pulled me into the story at first. I was like, ooh, I like it. 1, we have a queendom, and 2, we have dragons. So this one we're following the House of Berethnet. They've ruled for thousands of years. Queen Sabran needs to conceive a daughter to protect her realm from destruction while assassins creep closer. Then we have Eid. She's an outsider to the court. Actually, I don't know if it's a she. But Eid is an outsider of the court and also a member of a secret society of mages as well. And she has been keeping an eye on Sabran and protecting her with forbidden magic. Across the sea, Tane has trained to be a dragon rider since childhood and faces a decision that could unravel her life as she knows it. Yes, so we have a dragon rider, a mage, and a queen who might be assassinated. What? Sounds wonderful. And it's a standalone fantasy in this chunky 827-page book. So I don't have to start a series with this one. I think a few of these are series, unfortunately. Mask of Mirrors and Dune and House of Earth and Blood, which is our last book that I'm going to talk about right now. Those are my 3 series that I'm starting with this one. Oh gosh, so many series. But anyways, you know what? It's fine. Because I'm still going to just keep to my goal of trying to finish 10 series this year. And yeah. So last book, House of Earth and Blood. This cover, I think everybody finds absolutely stunning. The detail, intricateness of this cover is just phenomenal and beautiful and gorgeous. So this is by Sarah J. Maas, and it is 808 pages. Following Bryce, she had a perfect life until a demon killed her closest friends. That sucks. I believe this is kind of more urban fantasy. I haven't read a ton of urban fantasy. I'm a little nervous about it because I read N.K. Jemison's The City We Became, and I did not really enjoy that one too much. But I don't know. I haven't read a ton of urban fantasy, so who knows if I actually like it or not, right? So she finds herself at the heart of the investigation and will do whatever to avenge their deaths. Then we have Hunt, who is a fallen angel who is now enslaved by the archangels he had once attempted to overthrow. And he has one purpose: to assassinate his boss's enemies, no questions asked. But he's offered a deal. If he helps Bryce find the murderer, he can earn his freedom. So, delving into Crescent City's underbelly, Bryce and Hunt discover a dark power as well as a blazing passion for one another. So this is a fantasy romance. We do have that romance piece in there and then also this fantastical urban fantasy side. I am intrigued. I have read one book by Sarah J. Maas so far, and it was Throne of Glass, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't like anything incredible, but I give it like 4 stars. And I tried to continue in the series, and I'm just like really wasn't into getting back into it. I don't know. So I'm hoping to maybe come back to that series at some point. We're gonna try this newest book because I've heard really great things about it. I know it was like the year it came out, I think in 2020. it was on like everybody's top list. Like everybody was just like raving about it. And I was like, okay, maybe I am gonna try and pick this up. So this year, I'm gonna do it. But I think that one would be really fun to do the spoilery vlog with. Also, like Priory of the Orange Tree, Sleep in a City was like, a lot of these would be so fun to do a spoiler filled vlog with, I feel like. So let me know if you guys like that idea or not. But yeah, these are 10 big books that I'm going to try and complete this year. And I would love to hear from you guys down below. So just say hey, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.